y'all on Twitter if you'd be down to date someone living with HIV. On my timeline, y'all were pretty woke, but in the DMs, a lot of people still take issue with men who aren't clean. Last season, we talked to somebody who prefers not to date men living with HIV.
That's a complicated question. I'm gonna say probably not.
Then we talked to men living with HIV who were still single.
So I'm like kind of getting back in this like dating pool, which is trash.
Now we're on the flip side. In the studio, we've got one person who is dating, living with HIV, and another who is not living with HIV, but dating somebody who is. Then we're joined by two more online. That means two of us are living with HIV and two of us are not. Two of us are dating and two of us are not. I'm trying to figure out, is HIV the reason why so many of us are stuck in the dating pool? Does HIV status even matter in a dating situation, or could our views and values be the reason why more of us haven't found love? Let's stop tiptoeing in our heels around this hot topic in dating culture and stand on business. This is Dating and HIV Explained, and the show starts right now. Oh, they can see me, my bad. What up, dog? Jay the Gentleman here. That's at JAI, the Gentleman on IG. We're live from the back room right here on Thirsty Thursday. It's a big week here in the back room. We're always live on YouTube Thursday nights at 8, but this week we're doing two special live streams on our Patreon. On Thursday at noon, we're sitting down with Lavelle Dante. I'm so excited about this. Oh yeah, y'all can clap for that. All right, Aaron, roll the clip.
If you plan on calling my phone, you better have your I voted sticker ready for me to see. That's your
We can't see it.
If you don't got one of those, you don't got nothing to talk about. You
I
got
just want to
time
wear my
catch up on your
glasses like
favorite
that.
shows? You got time to catch up on the tea and the gossip and worried about what the celebrities doing? You got time to sit on your behind and not do anything? Do you got time to go to the polls? And if you don't use any of your time to vote and you opt out, you're going to get cut off.
Now, I believe in that. I believe in that. Y'all follow Lavelle Dante?
Yes.
Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I can't wait to talk to him. Okay, and then on Friday, Armani Walton will be stopping by the back room for a special live at 5 p.m. Both of these interviews will be streamed exclusively on Patreon. Subscribe at patreon.com/Dear Black Gay Men. But tonight, we've got a special episode of Dear Black Gay Men because it's Tuesday. It's not Friday. It's not Thursday like we normally do. This episode is presented in part by the HIV Vaccine Trials Network. More on them later. As always, we're talking about the ups and downs of dating. My four guests are joining us in the back room in front of a live studio audience. Woo! I love I can say that. I love I can say that. Okay. In front of a live studio audience, to see if the dating pool has piss in it or not, please welcome Royce, Willie, and Titan Capri. Oh, we lost Titan. Royce and Willie are here, though. You can switch. Okay.
Ooh.
What have you had it with in Black gay culture? I love this question.
What have I had it with? I've had it with everyone assuming that you should be the person, especially living with HIV, you have to disclose like your status or anything, like the responsibilities on you.
Really?
Yes, that's annoying. I feel like if you're having sex with anyone, you should be you're responsible for your own health first, not no one else.
Okay. That's very educated. That's very intellectual. I'm here for that. I'm here for that. So are you saying that if the HIV question does not come up, you don't talk about it?
I'm not saying I don't, but I'm saying for its community or culture wise.
You can tell you work here. Go ahead. As far as community is concerned, go ahead.
They make it seem like it's the other person's responsibility to be responsible in like telling them their statuses and looking out for their health versus their own.
Does it feel like you have a undue responsibility in culture?
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, I agree. I think people who living with HIV have way too much responsibility put on them. Are you watching this channel? To save your bandwidth, this channel will exit and stop streaming.
Uh-oh.
I love this show. Okay, Willie, what have you had it with?
It don't have to be on the topic of HIV. It could be anything in gay
It can
culture.
be absolutely anything. What have you had it with?
I'm headed with top shaming. And what I mean by top shaming.
Top shaming.
Top shaming?
Top shaming.
You heard
Elaborate.
the room had grumbles in it. The TV about to go
Top
off.
shaming. Look, I'm so sick of these bottoms telling us tops what we can and can't do in the bedroom. It's like
But
becoming
tops
like,
do that to bottoms, though.
I don't do it.
I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying.
So my experience, I mean, I just feel like I heard this with different people that I dealt with at the bottom. They try to say like, well, oh, if you a top, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I'm like, but whether I do this or I do that, I'm still gay. So
You talk about sucking dick. Are you talking about sucking dick?
Exactly. That's one of the
Okay.
things. That's one of the
We
things.
can call a thing here in the background.
Exactly. Like, I have some bottoms that say like, well, if you're a true top, as they
You
call
shouldn't
it,
be.
you shouldn't be sucking dick. But I'm like,
Fuck them. I shouldn't say that because
you know what I mean? And my
supposed to be
rebuttal to it
professional.
is like, I mean, I've dealt with women before. But only thing I can't get from a woman is a dick. So it's like, why would I come, start dealing with men and just act like I'm like scared of dick or against dick? So I was like, it just don't make sense for me. But I heard that from like different people, so I kind of felt like that was a thing.
But is that top shaming?
Yeah, because
or
they say
is
you're
that
not
just
a true top if you like you shouldn't do this. You're a top. You can't do this. You can't do
okay?
that.
So different question. Why are you so connected to the idea of a true top? Why not just be
that's
you?
not my idea. That's what they say.
But you're you, regardless if
I agree that I should be allowed to do it. I shouldn't be ridiculed for doing it. That's my
I
opinion.
agree.
That's my opinion.
If you do it well, you shouldn't be ridiculed.
Yes.
I'm
Only
just
if you
saying
do it
that.
well.
Because if
This
it's
is my
trash,
opinion.
it's
But
trash.
I have been
Then you should probably
told
stop.
that how you a top is if you
Sebby's
into
like-
doing this. So,
Y'all see that meme? He's like,
but I do agree on the flip side. It's, I guess it goes both ways. But I mean,
it
in my
does.
experience, I heard like along that dialogue, it been told to me like, well, if you like to do that's a turn off, and I'm like,
okay.
very clear, though,
I
you're
mean,
not.
I think that's I've never heard it put as top shaming, but I get what you're saying. I think that people should be able to be themselves. Yeah.
okay, exactly.
Yes.
Okay, Titan, are you there? Yes. Do we have Titan? Hey, Titan, what have you had it with?
I'm here. Hey, you know what? I was going to say sort of the same thing, right? Like, yeah, I think that this whole masculinity thing
Okay.
is I've had it with it because I don't think that you dress in a certain way or you act in a certain way necessarily is masculinity, right? I think that you can be who you want to be and do all of that. So, yeah.
I think I've had it with masculinity as a construct altogether.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
in my experience, people that are really, really people that are really What? Okay.
I love
But-
this show. I love this show. I love it.
We just put naked men on the screen all the time. Okay. Clearly the back room is off the rails because we got a studio audience. But I think masculinity as a construct, a lot of people that I would say that are masculine would not consider themselves masculine because somebody told them that,
Exactly.
painted nails or,
Yeah.
a little switch in their
Yeah.
walk. But them the niggas that be changing tires and filling up gas tanks and opening
Oil
doors
changes.
and all those things. But because they voice is a little high, all of a sudden they not masculine. So I'm just tired of that
Right.
altogether.
Right.
Agreed.
I mean, you cute, Willie, but
Thank you. But
you hear that voice? You hear it? Do you hear Titan?
how you put me on the spot like that?
I hear it.
Willie's cute, but I can do without any of the masculinity talk. Oh, that's my tea. Okay, but I have had it with the Gay for Paperboys. Empire star Brashear Gray has taken to the. What's going on? That's not Brashear Gray. Okay, Empire star Brashear Gray is taken to the OnlyFans. Check this out.
This looks crazy. What is this? Because this is hip hop.
Did he fall in the pool? Ooh,
Oh.
I hope he didn't fall in the pool. He didn't fall in the pool in that clip, did he?
I hope he should have.
Okay, so I have had it with Brashear Gray in general because I think clearly if you follow his Instagram, his Twitter, he is dealing with some shit.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if he understands he's dealing with some shit, but he dealing with some things. And the idea that the OnlyFans community is taking advantage of that because he's a notable person is unfortunate. I think that is a plight of so many Black and brown queer people all the time, is that we find people in these low places. They look to sex work or other types of work, and then we end up taking advantage of them.
Yep.
And so I have had it with the girls taking advantage of them, but that's just me, and it's my show, so I can have it with anything. Okay. This creator made me think about how I would respond to a woman hitting on me. Watch this.
These women is a different breed. This lady came up to me today. She said, listen, baby, I already know you play for the other team, but I don't mind pulling out the strap. I said, girl, what do you think this is? What do you take me for?
What do you take me for?
And what color it is? Because the way this shit going for me, girl, don't sound too bad. You just might be the one. So rise hello, and who gonna do me something? Take down my number.
Does color matter?
Yes.
It does?
Yes. You want a white strap? You don't want no fleshy strap. Like, It's gonna be clear
The
or a
color
chocolate
matters?
color. Yes. Clear or chocolate color. You can get away with like a hot pink or something, but anything else.
That is not the question that was in there, but I'm so glad I asked. I did not know that.
It matters.
Mine is purple.
I mean, purple is fine.
It's like an iridescent fluorescent purple. It's like the gayest purple you can see. You
just
can
can't
find.
have like the fleshy like.
Pink. Did y'all see that? Did you see that? I hope they saw that. Okay. Y'all may be tired of me repeating this weekly, but I can't stop encouraging you to vote. We've had too much at risk. Early voting is in full effect here in Georgia. Body to wait until the last minute. Make a plan so that your voice is heard. For more information on where to vote on your local area, go to vote.org. If you're enjoying this content, be sure to like this video and subscribe on YouTube so you never miss an update. This is Dating and HIV Explained, and we will be right back. What up, though? The conversations stay lit on Dear Black Gay Men podcast. Hookup, entanglement, situation, relationship, everything from dushing to dating. A top verb, but I am not a top noun. I am a guru at first dates. It's new every Wednesday. Subscribe now. Okay, Aaron, do you think HIV is still a big deal?
I do. When I look at the numbers and things like that, I have to like burst myself out of my own bubble because for me, it's not a big deal. I go to the doctor, I get my 2 shots or my shots every 2 months, and like HIV is a non-factor for me.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realize all of the privileges in my life that allow me to do that.
What about you, Verity? Is HIV a big deal? Because you are an ally.
I am an ally. And so I feel like on a day-to-day, it's honestly not something that's top of mind. But being a part of the podcast, and I didn't realize just how prevalent it still was.
That's why this episode is brought to you in part by the HIV Vaccine Trials Network. HIV has been a huge part of my life as a gay man, and the HIV Vaccine Trials Network is working to minimize that, because ending HIV is about all of us.
For me, as an ally, I wasn't truly aware of the impact HIV has on our lived experiences until we started working with the HIV Vaccine Trials Network. Now that I know about this network, I feel like there's a real way for me to get involved in the fight against HIV. I've been able to get educational resources on HIV, stay up to date on HIV research, and enroll in studies to help end HIV.
If you would like more information or get involved in an HIV vaccine trial, whether you're living with HIV or not, visit helpendhiv.org. That's helpendhiv.org. The link is in the description. Get in the conversation. This comment says, I did a good job. It's time for a congratulatory ejaculation session. Chat live on the show and get exclusive content.
The bottoms are going to eat me up for this in the chat.
Join the Dear Black Gay Men Insiders group on Facebook. Quindarius?
It's not Quindarius. No.
Okay, everybody. We're live from the back room right here on Dear Black Gay Men Podcast. We have 3 guests joining us today to help me have a conversation on the dating pool and if it is trash or not. Tonight, I'm talking to an Army vet and motivational influencer who has thrived with HIV for 19 years, our creative director, who I rely on every single day, and our previous guest who is returning for the follow-up to this conversation. I'm really, really happy you're here. Please welcome Titan Capri, Willie, and Royce. Woo! I really do feel like it's Watch What Happens Live in here. Maybe I should... I'm manifesting. That's what that's called. Manifesting.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay. And so sharing your status for the... Do y'all think the dating... I'm all over the place. Excuse me. Do y'all think the dating pool is trash? Royce, I'll start with you. You're closest to me. You shouldn't have sat there.
I tried to, you know what? I'm going down that road. What's the question?
Do you think the dating pool is trash?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
You're the one in a relationship, though. You're not even in the dating pool. How do you think it's trash?
I had to be in the pool before I got out of it. So
how could it be trash if you got out, though? While he ponders that, Willie, is the dating pool trash?
I think the dating pool trash as hell. I feel like
are you still single?
I'm single, and this is why I'm single.
Not for long. If I have anything to do with it, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Get down through there. Be careful.
Uh-oh. I'll pull out the strap.
Be careful. No, I think it's pool. I think it's trash because maybe it's an Atlanta thing. But I kind of feel like Atlanta is kind of more ambitious than looking for love. They be probably more focused on like what you can do for them opposed to like y'all bonding.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, you know, when I meet people, if it's not crazy, but like if one of the first thing you ask me like, what do you do for work? You trying to like figure that out, opposed to like figure like just who I am as a person, then that's gonna automatically throw me off.
I think every city has their fucked up question. Because I can remember people from DC saying, people say like, what's your security clearance? Atlanta people be like, how many followers you got?
Yeah, shit like that. Yeah.
How many you got a OnlyFans?
Right.
All of those stupid ass questions. Titan, are you there?
I'm here.
Is the dating pool trash where you at? Titan is in Houston. So is the dating
I don't
pool?
know. I don't know if it's trash, right? It may be a little small
Small.
in a sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Meaning that sort of like the question you asked earlier, right? Like, what are we fed up with? And so a lot of times when I've been dating quite a bit here lately, right? But it's not like what people would think I would date, who they would think I would date, right?
Has anybody knocked your socks off recently?
So yes. So wait a minute. Are we saying like?
That's why it ain't trash.
Whoa,
Somebody done
hold
knocked
on.
them damn socks
Wait.
off.
Hold on. Oh wait a minute. Hold on. So yeah.
So someone has knocked your socks off recently.
Yeah. But it wasn't somebody that I thought I would normally go for.
You know, I've had a lot of those experiences recently of someone that is outside of my norm that I would date, and they've piqued my interest. They might have been younger. Well, now I ain't old, but I'm older,
Right.
and so someone
Right.
younger might have piqued my interest that I wouldn't have normally been into, or thicker men. Like, ooh, it's something about a man with a little jiggle. Won't it, Will? Won't it, Will? That's
Will it
what can
won't?
take you behind the veil.
And will it won't?
Where it's
Okay.
just me
That
and
part.
God. The praise of the
Yeah.
righteous availeth much.
You gotta have a little bit of a jiggle.
Kevy
Yes,
Kev says,
indeed.
Ty, you better wear them hoop earrings, friend.
And I'm gonna do it just like that. Okay. Hey friend.
So Titan, for you, if the dating pool isn't trash, then why do you feel like you're still single? Why are you still single?
So I don't think that I don't know if I'm dating for an end to a means. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm trying to get married or have a ring on the finger or anything like that. I think that I'm out here living my life and just being me. Right?
So would you say that you're looking for a relationship?
I'm saying that if one comes about, I'm not opposed to it.
but it's not.
I'm not
It's not.
necessarily
It's
looking
not a
like,
motivation for you.
I agree.
yeah, like right now, I'm not trying to tie nobody down. I'm traveling, I'm doing things, I'm living my life, my career is good. So somebody wants to come along, they come along.
You know, Lamont White, who is a dating coach, he said that that's what makes it
Mhm.
really difficult for people to date. When you are living your life, doing you, and enjoying the process of living.
Right,
He says that's what
right.
makes it really difficult for some of us to date y'all is your life is so big that sometimes people don't know how to fit in it. Do you think there's any credence to that? Is there any validity to that?
So I think there's a small piece of validity to that because I have had people say to me, well, you're out here doing this, or you're on these stages, or but my thing is, I don't know that it has validity in my life because
Mm-hmm.
if we want to date, we're going to date, period, right? I don't think I need to look to the future to figure out whether or not we're going to date right now or whether or not somebody going to
That's
knock my
the fucking
socks off.
t-shirt. I shouldn't be cussing so much. That's the t-shirt, Titan. I don't know if I need to look to the future to see if we gonna date right now.
You don't believe in the saying
That
you can't
part.
help what you fall for?
Wait. Say that again, Willie.
You can't. You don't.
You know,
believe in
I
the
was
saying-
sidetracked
I'm
by
sorry,
the
you don't believe in the
voice.
saying like you can't help who you fall for. You can't
Yeah.
help who you fall for.
I mean, I
You
feel for
can't.
you first time you was on here.
And my thing is, I want to piggyback. I agree with he's saying. It's like when you force
It
love.
took people
That's
a
when
minute
it,
to
Yeah.
fix.
when you force love, I feel like it don't work like that. But if you
Speak.
meant, if you meant to be, it's meant to be.
I see you,
Yeah.
girl. Titan. They got a whiteboard that tells me to move on, and they keep holding it up. I'm like, I see you, girl. see. Okay. Here we go. Okay, sharing your status for the first time. See, that was a horrible transition. But sharing your status for the first time may be hard, especially when it's your first time being vulnerable around the topic. Watch this.
That was the doctor's office. They said that I'm positive for HIV.
Did you lie to me about not having it?
Of course not. Well, I wouldn't lie about
Don't touch me! This is exactly why I said I wanted to wait. And this whole time you've just been carrying it around with you. And I bet you probably don't even know who you got it from, do you?
That was a clip from the short film Fear Not, which is created and directed by Johnny. John Santos. He is here in the studio. So, but the film does deal with a very, very particular topic about disclosure and about HIV in Black queer culture. And so, for both of y'all, how big a deal is your HIV status when navigating the dating pool? Royce, I'll talk to you first.
I feel like it's a really big deal. Kind of goes back to what I said earlier. Like, you have to be responsible for your own self when it comes your own health, essentially. So that's why I say it's a big deal, because it's important for people to know. But if I want to disclose, I shouldn't have to feel like to be feared into like saying my HIV status.
But when is it important for people to know? Because, I mean, as much as we want to talk about dating and love and relationship, the girls be outside.
They do.
And do. The girls
And
be
will.
outside. And so I'm like, in all the exchanges that we have, it feels like our culture minimizes HIV and hookup scenes and maximizes it in dating. And for some reason, I think it should be the opposite, shouldn't it?
Especially for hookup, yes.
There are so many amen corners in this room. There are so many amen corners. But why do we do that, Royce? Why do you think?
Because I think the first in hookup moments, it's you just want to get down to it. You don't really think
You want to do it. You want to be doing it. Is that what you want to say, Royce? You want to do it. That's an inside joke that only like 5 people in this room would know. But you want to be doing it.
Yes, want to be doing it.
Okay.
But so you want to get down to it. So
Stop. You want to get down to it. Go ahead. Keep on. I'm listening. I'm all ears.
I'm sure you are.
You want to
you want to get down to it and do it. And
I didn't say it, but go ahead.
But that's the thing. Like, no one really wants to like ruin the time, like ruin the moment by saying, "Oh, okay." Well, at least that's the thought process. It gets very serious when you start talking about statuses, but not to say it should still be a conversation though, regardless.
But under Willie, I come to you. Under what context though do we want to make it a conversation? Like, you're dating somebody and now HIV is this elephant in the room,
Right?
But don't you agree that in our culture, when we just fucking, it feels like I have personally been in a whole bunch of situations where HIV says never comes up. Right. I ain't never know.
So for me, I think I'm gonna piggyback on what he was saying, kind of, sort of. It's my responsibility to make sure that I'm doing my part to protect myself, to the point that if I'm doing my part, even if you don't disclose your status to me, it really shouldn't be a big deal the way medicine have evolved in today's time. So that's my thing. I'm doing my part. I make sure I'm doing what I need to do to protect myself. So whether it come up or not, I believe in the medicine to know that I'll be safe.
Okay, so Titan, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, so let me ask you, when you're navigating culture and in a dating sphere, does it feel like HIV is still a big deal in the dating pool?
No. So I think let me put a caveat in that. So it's for those of us like myself that are advocates and we're advocating and we're out here doing what we do for community. It's a big thing for us, right? Because we already know. So mine is a little different. All of my status and everything is on all my social media, but I still have the conversation. And you're right. There are times when I meet people, there's not a question about whether or not I'm positive, how many years, anything like that. And I'll go so far as to say that I have been approached since I've been dating. You see my air quotations?
I saw
Since
the
I've
air
been
quotation. I
dating
feel
lately.
like
Socks knocked off.
Since
but you the
I've
one who
been
got your
dating
socks
lately,
knocked
and
off. That's what Royce said.
huh?
You done got your socks knocked off, so your air quotes
Yeah.
is a little suspect.
So Royce, that's what I'm saying. So since I didn't got the knockoff, right? A lot of times.
I don't think that's how that term is used. I don't think that's how that particular term. The
Oh
knockoff
wait.
has a different
Oh
connotation.
wait.
See.
Wait. So socks knocked off, knockoff. That's not.
No. Those ain't the
Oh,
same.
okay.
Those ain't the same at
School
all.
me.
No.
School me. All right.
We
So
just
since I got my
listening.
socks knocked off, right?
It still sounds a little sexual when you say it, but okay. Since you got your socks
So,
knocked off, I'm
anyways,
listening.
long story short, right? I have to always bring that into wherever we're at before I get the socks knocked off.
But do
You
you
feel
feel?
me?
But as a person living with HIV, openly and very publicly living with HIV, like Royce was saying earlier, do you feel that you have a different burden in disclosure than the rest of culture?
I do because, and this may sound funny, and I hope that, well, you know what? We on Dear Black Gay Men. So what I have experienced is that you are frowned upon because you are HIV positive and you're not saying anything, disclosing anything about it. The other person is not even asking. Like I have stopped, and sometimes the spirit moves you where you halfway there, and you have to put the brakes on because you know life is life, and it looks good like a good old pork chop, and you want to go ahead on and take a chomp. But wait a minute, let me get back to my topic.
You was talking about a knockoff right there. That was the
Okay,
knockoff.
yeah.
That was the
No,
knockoff right
no,
there.
no,
But
no. But
the
seriously, I do
irony,
find
but
that
thought
I'm
Titan.
responsible.
But the irony of all of that, Titan, is that when I am going for the go, right? When I'm
Yeah,
getting a knockoff,
yeah.
and as someone who is not living with HIV, it's all gas, no brakes. Like I don't have to slow down for anything ever because I don't have I don't even know the last time I thought about slowing down when I got there. I would tell you a story that is absolutely not appropriate for YouTube, so I can't tell you right now. But we'll talk about it during the break. But how can you effectively date when there's always these brakes you have to put on? Royce,
I think it's up to like you. Like for instance, myself,
Mhm.
I determine when and like how I let the person know. For me, it's a little bit like the breaks aren't there as much because I want to make sure I'm covering myself and I'm giving the person their options up front. It doesn't, you kind of like rely on
That's good.
You want it when you want it. I think you were asking when is the moment to do it and disclose it. That's up to me, and it shouldn't be.
You said that because you done read the goddamn script, Royce.
No, I didn't read the script.
He read the script, child. That's what happens when you work here and you end up on the show. Titan, I'll give you the last comment before the break. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I agree with Royce on that. Like I have never, since I've been upfront about who I am and what I am and how I show up, speaking in my truth, I have always led with that, right? But there was a time that disclosure was not something that I led with because of safety reasons and things like that. But now in this dating era that I'm in, oh, you already know. And I think it's the most sexiest thing, right? For you to know your status, for you to know how to navigate.
I have a follow-up to that, and then we're going to tap in
Yeah.
with Willie and I, because we got some comments to give, but we about to take a break. So later in the show, we're going to play a game called Sassy or Trashy, where our guests and in-studio audience will determine what is sassy or trashy about dating and HIV. But right now, I want to hear from my live audience. Do you worry about acquiring HIV while dating? Is the question that came up when most when asked on Twitter. I can read, I promise. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. If tonight's conversation is making you feel a little less dense about dating and HIV, don't be selfish. Go ahead and drop the link to the live in the group chats. This is Dating and HIV Explained, and we will be right back. What up, though? The conversations stay lit on Dear Black Gay Men podcast. Hookup, entanglement, situation, relationship, everything from dushing to dating. A top verb, but I am not a top noun. I am a guru at first dates. It's new every Wednesday. Subscribe now. Every conference I go to, I get noticed because of the bag.
No, for real. So like they was asking me, I got noticed. Somebody pulled me aside. They were like, "Oh my God, I really love your bag," and they came up to start talking to me about how they can get connected with Dear Black Gay Men.
I mean, it's a great marketing tool. It's a great marketing tool, and it goes with most of our merch.
And then, child, I was at an undisclosed facility because they ain't a sponsor. I
thought it was because you was at a sex party.
No.
Okay. That's why this episode
not a back room.
That's why this episode of Dear Black Gay Men podcast is brought to you in part by MIH bags. Everywhere I go, I get noticed from my DBGM hoodie and my MIH. All I want is everything bag. Hold it up, Verity. That is actually my bag. I love it. It's the perfect bag to throw everything in when I'm rushing to the studio, or an overnight bag when I'm doing whatever I would be doing overnight.
You almost made me cry when you gifted me my All I Want Is Everything.
The All I Want Is Everything duffel.
Duffel bag for my birthday, and I get stopped every time I wear it. It's the perfect everyday bag or work bag or even a bag for the airport when I'm going on a nice trip.
That's not what the script says.
I don't care. You know I ain't been to the gym.
You can shop MIH Bags' full collection of accessories and apparel at mihbags.com. They're a Black queer-owned business that carries t-shirts and duffels and toiletry bags and so much more for all your accessory needs. Use code DBGM15 to take 15% off at checkout. That's mihbags.com. The link is in the description. Get in the conversation. This comment says, "I did a good job. It's time for a congratulatory ejaculation session." Chat live on the show and get exclusive content.
The bottoms are going to eat me up for this in the chat.
Join the Dear Black Gay Men Insiders group on Facebook. All right, we're live from the back room right here on Dear Black Gay Men podcast. Before the break, I asked in the comments, do you worry about acquiring HIV while... Did I ask that? Yes. Okay. Verity and Aaron, run through a couple of comments. Are the comments coming in? Yes. The optic says yes. It's always a forefront of mind with every interaction. The optics. I want to know. Are you dating someone currently? Like it's a forefront of your mind with the current person you're dating, or just in general? Let us know in the comments. Go ahead.
That was we got another comment.
Okay. So Debonair, the So Debonair show says I bought the bag for my coworker. Oh, I bought the bag for my coworker too. That was the bag we were holding up in the thing. Hey, Daryl Walter, I'm glad you made it. All right. Okay, Mr. D. You know I love that name, Mr. D. You can pick it up. You can pick it up. He dropped his phone, y'all. It comes to mind, but I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it's an afterthought. For me as well, and I'll tell you why after we play this game. Okay, so it's time for a little game that I love to play here on Dear Black Gay Men. It's called Sassy or Trashy. Hit it. Okay, so the way Sassy or Trashy works is everybody in the studio and Titan, I hope you're there. Titan doesn't have one. But they have Sassy or Trashy, and we're going to go through some of the aspects of dating in the time of HIV, and we're all going to weigh in on whether we think they are sassy, meaning good, or trashy, meaning bad. Titan, you there? I can't hear you, but I just love this angle, Titan. You look good. You're muted.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
So we're gonna run through them. Sassy means good, trashy means bad. We all clear?
Got it.
All right. So the first one is taking PEP, post-exposure prophylaxis. Sassy or trashy for preventing HIV in emergency situations?
It's sassy.
Yeah, that's sassy.
Sassy.
Hold it up, please. That's what she said.
Sassy, yes.
Oh, he can't see himself. That's why. He hold it like hold it right here. He like, it's right here. You gotta hold it like right here in front of your face, Willie, so the people can see it. The camera right there. That's
it. Sassy.
Okay, it's sassy. What do you say, Titan? Is it post-exposure prophylaxis? Sassy or trashy?
Sassy.
I mean, I think that's pretty straightforward. It's pretty sassy.
Yeah.
Okay. This one is using the word clean to describe your HIV status. Sassy or trashy?
Trashy.
Trash.
I said it a lot. I'm sorry.
You said it a lot.
Willie says it's sassy.
Educate me. Don't give me that face.
Willie,
I won't do it no more. I won't do it no more. I won't do it
Trash.
no more. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Every person in the studio audience is giving him the high eyebrows.
It's trashy. I'm sorry. It won't happen no more. I'm sorry.
Okay. But real talk. You said it was sassy though.
I said educate me. I didn't know the difference.
Well, okay. What did you think clean meant? Not, I mean, I would say not to put you on the spot, but I'm definitely putting you on the spot. But what do you? But like when you said, "Oh, I'm clean," what does that mean to you?
I don't get nothing.
Okay.
I ain't gonna get nothing. That's what I meant. I'm clean. I ain't got nothing.
Okay.
That's what I meant when I said I don't got nothing.
Okay, and so for the rest of the panel, that is a fair summation.
No, it is.
Yes.
For me,
this case,
educate me.
it means I don't got nothing.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Okay, and so Royce, give us better language then.
How should I put it?
Because it's a hard question to ask. A lot of people say clean a lot of the time. And the idea that you ain't got something to rattle off quick, knowing that you an advocate and all the things.
Whoa.
Titan,
Yeah.
what you got up there? So now Willie is converted. He said clean is not sassy no more. It's trashy. But for those people that are watching, like clean does mean to him, I ain't got nothing. And so what is better language?
Well, I think maybe I don't know, negative status or right, like I don't know that saying I'm clean is a great connotation because it means that you were dirty, right? But what does clean actually mean though? If you don't have nothing, you know what I mean? Like, so for me, I say it's trashy because it lends to a fact that you were dirty to begin with.
Okay, so let me now. I agree with you. For full disclosure, don't cancel me. But if I could just push back on that, Titan, or not push back, but ask a follow-up question. To a lot of people, it's just a word. Like Willie basically said, it's just a word. It's just me saying I ain't got nothing.
So what should
I
I
might
say?
actually disagree with that.
Well, I'm gonna speak.
Go ahead, Titan, and then I'm coming to Royce.
No, I said, well, I'm just going to speak from my own experience, right? Once I was diagnosed with AIDS, I was considered tainted, dirty, nasty, right? And so for someone to say that they're clean, for me, this is an I statement. For me, I don't particularly like that because it leads to that I was unclean before, right? And
Okay.
so so that's the reason why I don't agree with that. Not saying that he's wrong because I've heard it throughout my life, right? You clean, right? That means you don't have anything. But 9 times out of 10, in my experience, it wasn't even HIV. It was an STI or something like that they were speaking of.
Okay, and so Willie, I'm gonna come to you before I come to Royce. And so hearing that explanation, like, how do you understand or how do you see the word clean in our culture?
I agree. I mean, you got to be mindful of the things you say because, I mean, you might not know how it can affect somebody. But what I'm still waiting on him to tell me is like, well, what's the best way to express myself? Because I was expressing myself in a way trying to be not offensive to no one. But if it does offend you, that's not my intention.
So, question for you: If when you ask somebody if are you asking them are they clean, or are you just saying that I'm
expressing like for me. So when I say I'm clean,
when you're dating somebody or you're attracted to someone, you be like, I'm clean in regards. That's how you would say it.
Well, normally with me, it'd be like a situation for a hookup. So I'll just be expressing to them like, hey,
you clean?
I just don't have anything, so you don't have to worry about that. Like with me, I have nothing I can give you because I don't have anything.
I mean, you got something you can give. And based on what you've had it with, you got a couple things you can give a friend.
I think it's just a matter of how, because being on this side of it, when people are using the word clean, they're automatically setting as a negative way, not like
it's a negative connotation.
Yeah, and that's the problem there. No matter if we know the word clean, what it means is not to have anything or whatnot, but it's just you say a lot of people know the word and use the word. I think we have a lot of people that just use it just to be negative about it. So they're being ignorant to the fact it's like, okay, I'm still gonna say this, knowing that it's offensive.
Okay.
So I'm one of the I'm one of the illiterate ones.
No.
Right. So
we're not gonna say illiterate.
Well,
no,
because you are a lot. Because
I don't know. So,
but the irony is you're a lot more open.
Right, but it's the difference between not knowing and not wanting to know. So it's a difference if I know and I'm still doing something. I'm still waiting on y'all to tell me. When somebody asks me, how should I express it?
For me, it's a matter of like, okay, when's the last time you got tested, or do you know your current status? You don't have to be like, are you clean to know?
I don't ask them. I'm telling them about me. If I'm expressing what I am,
you can say that. Okay. Oh well, I if we're having a conversation about like statuses or whatnot, or trying to figure out somebody is in a good health.
My status is
this.
Okay.
I
was tested last week.
Literally, that's it.
Okay.
Because what I hear is that the clean language is just easy. It's like low bar. It's one word that we hope encompasses a whole bunch of meanings. And what I'm hearing both you Royce and Titan say is that the better way of saying is just more words. It's not more effort, but it's just more words. My status is, or the last time I was tested, or I was negative as of blah blah blah. Right?
But that's
I think of it as people first language, right? I think of it as I'm human. You know what I mean? Like nothing against him saying clean, right? Because we know what that is. The hookup on that, I'm good. I'm disease free. I don't have anything. I get it, right? I was just saying in my experience, the word was used in a negative way towards me. And so that's the reason why I don't use it.
Yeah. Okay.
I would rather say I was tested last week or my status is like I do with all my social media. Yeah.
I'm disease free. So yeah, that's a better way. Incorporate that.
So again, they got a whiteboard over there. And every time they rush me along, I'm like, okay, I see you. Okay. But Is it sassy or trashy to have raw sex when you're undetectable? y'all can't. I don't know if y'all can hear, but like, is it sassy or trashy to have? But there is definitely a whole bunch of in the peanut
I'm
gallery.
gonna go off on the deep end and just say it's sassy.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. Oh, look, I don't have a sassy, but look.
I say it's sassy. Okay.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
we are all on different levels of different aspects of culture, right? Some of us are living with HIV, some are not. Why do you say sassy, Willie?
I say it's sassy because I just said this before. I ask people, well, if you're undetectable, and today I believe in the medicine, I don't feel like you should have to disclose your status if you know you're undetectable, and it's not really a situation where you could transmit it. So if you're undetectable and I know you're undetectable, I'm still gonna fuck you if I'm attracted to you. That's
what I'm talking about.
So,
he said I'm still gonna fuck you.
So
that's
my thing
it.
is, like, what's the point even telling me that? Like, you just could have, So that's why I say, like,
You could have skipped to the good part. You could have skipped to the good part.
So I believe the medicine worked, in my opinion. But that's what I believe. So,
Okay, Royce, what about you? We all said sassy, but why did you say sassy?
I said sassy because there's no. The risk of doing passing anything or on a person is really, really low.
Passing HIV.
Yes. Passing HIV.
Because you can be undetectable with HIV and have a whole bunch of other shit.
Yeah, you could.
Right, true.
You could, but nobody's asking no questions. You could.
Give me a minute, Royce. I'll ask the fucking question. See how they do? See how they do when they see the script? Okay, so Willie, they say the board literally says, "Ask Willie what changed."
So I'm gonna try to sum it up. I know we got
legitimately said, "Ask Willie what changed."
That's cool. So being born in the late '80s, raised in the '90s, I think I lived more years seeing how HIV affected people negatively than the way medicine evolved recently to the point that it's not really a death sentence if you contract it. Okay. So I think that's why when I was a guest last time, I was kind of like against being involved with someone, maybe in a sense like that was positive. But now I educated myself since the last time I was on this show to understand. That's what my own experience, like, taking taking Doxy prep as well as regular prep, to know that the medicine is effective. So for me, that's why it changed for me. I educated myself.
I think that deserves an applause. That level of growth is really, really important. Shout out to you, Willie. I appreciate it. Because the reason why I think that is so important is because in our culture, I don't think we mark people who grow. Mm-hmm. A lot of us have very problematic views at some point.
Right. And
then when you evolve out of that, I don't think nobody gets their flowers on that shit. But you gonna get your flowers up here in the back room. I'm supposed to look at the screen. Hey, Titan is giving you the snaps. Hey, okay, Titan.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so coming up, our guests are going to share their stories about discovering and disclosing their HIV status. But first, I have a question for the comments. What do y'all think about raw sex and HIV? We will get your responses when we come back. If you're enjoying tonight's conversation, be sure to support Dear Black Gay Men by buying some merch. We're dropping our fall collection, and it's available for pre-order at dearblackgaymen.shop. This is Dating and HIV Explained. And we will be right back. What up, dog? The conversations stay lit on Dear Black Gay Men podcast. Hookup, entanglement, situation, relationship, everything from dushing to dating. A top verb, but I am not a top noun. I am a guru at first dates. It's new every Wednesday. Subscribe now. Okay, Aaron, do you think HIV is still a big deal?
I do. When I look at the numbers and things like that, I have to burst myself out of my own bubble, because for me, it's not a big deal. I go to the doctor, I get my 2 shots or my shots every 2 months, and HIV is a non-factor for me. Mm-hmm. But then I realize all of the privileges in my life that allow me to do that.
What about you, Verity? Is HIV a big deal? Because you are an ally.
I am an ally. And so I feel like on a day-to-day, it's honestly not something that's top of mind. But being a part of the podcast, and I didn't realize just how prevalent it still was.
That's why this episode is brought to you in part by the HIV Vaccine Trials Network. HIV has been a huge part of my life as a gay man, and the HIV Vaccine Trials Network is working to minimize that because ending HIV is about all of us.
For me, as an ally, I wasn't truly aware of the impact HIV has on our lived experiences until we started working with the HIV Vaccine Trials Network. Now that I know about this network, I feel like there's a real way for me to get involved in the fight against HIV. I've been able to get educational resources on HIV, stay up to date on HIV research, and enroll in studies to help end HIV.
If you would like more information or get involved in an HIV vaccine trial, whether you're living with HIV or not, visit helpendhiv.org. That's helpendhiv.org. The link is in the description. Hit the notification bell because we're going live.
Like that's the least of my worries. The size.
Oh, I think relationships are becoming more complex.
Tuesday and Thursday every week. Welcome to Dear Black Gay Men Live at 9 p.m. Eastern. I love it. Okay, we're live for the back room right here on Dear Black Gay Men Podcast. Before the break, I asked, what do y'all think about raw sex and HIV? Verity and Aaron, run through some of the comments. If this one said, hold on, take that subscribe down. This says, though consenting adults who have had conversations and are both aware of each other's status have sex without a condom makes me know never mind. I've hunched a lot more raw than I have protected. Oh. I'm not supposed to say it, but I was like, my nigga. Do we got any others?
It's the hurt.
This one says, this is awesome. Adrian says, I'm with it all day and night, and I believe in the meds and taking mine at a schedule daily and get tested regularly to ensure all status. I promise I can read normally. It's just small. She said my shirt is
It's blending in with your shirt. It's blending with your shirt. Yeah.
Girl, I don't like your tone. It says I also disclose my status on any apps. Okay. You disclose your status. I'm assuming that means that it could mean you're negative or positive. So
yes.
So when you disclose your status on the apps, do you go the next step and be like, oh, hold on.
Wait a minute.
Hold on before you get to that one. Before you get to that one.
Raw is law.
Who said that shit? Yeah, of course it's Roger. Okay. Go put that comment back up. This one said raw is law. And someone in the room said, I like that one.
Love that one. I love that one.
Okay, so let me ask.
Let's be real.
Let me ask everybody in the room and the chat, because I'm really curious.
If I gotta put a condom on, I ain't trying to fuck you.
Do you default?
Yeah.
Do you default to condomless sex? Is that the default, and people tell you otherwise, or is it condoms and they be like, oh, I wanna.
The first default.
Everybody.
Oh well.
Someone in the room said, I enter the world naturally naked. I feel like that's
I was about to say.
Titan even said it on the chat. Okay. One question I often hear from the girls is how to navigate living and dating with HIV. Nobody wants to talk about the house in Virginia. That's what they called it when I came out, the house in Virginia, although he from the Bronx. But that's what I'm here for. Please welcome back our guest that y'all may have seen on the TV and a whole bunch of places, Dr. Daniel Driffin. Are you there, Doctor?
I'm here.
Are you verklempt, friend? Are you verklempt?
Y'all have vexed me tonight, Lord.
Okay, so I talk a lot about HIV on the show, and you all are very vocal about living and thriving with HIV. But what I want to know is, what is the journey to get to that place, Doctor, and everyone here who is living with HIV? Now, I know that becoming undetectable, I've heard that it is a difficult journey. I've heard that it can take time and all those things. How long have y'all been undetectable? Doctor, I'll ask you first.
So, baby, I was sitting here on top of the Apollo Theater because I'm here in Harlem tonight. Like I'm Patti LaBelle. I'm just like I want to say so many things. They look like my chat box. Don't
Where are
go to
my
the
background
comments.
singers? Where are the background singers? But go ahead. You want to say so many things, but what do you want? Okay, let's start with the undetectable question though, because we'll get to a whole bunch of stuff because we're gonna have a whole segment with you. How long have you been undetectable, and more importantly, was it difficult to get there?
So I started taking therapy, HIV therapy, daily therapy in 2013. I
Okay.
think I learned that I was positive in 2008, but again, from '08 till about 2012, we were under different guidelines. So if your CD4 cells was not under like 500 or really 350, it wasn't recommended to be on medication yet.
I remember those days.
So as soon as I started taking a one pill a day regimen, I was undetectable instantly. And I swallowed a pill from 2013 through 2021, relatively
So
every day.
hold on, Doc. Yeah, because I know you're a doctor and I know you're professional and whatnot. But as soon as you said I swallowed, there was a grumble in this room. Like so many people were like, "Oh, I just want to." I'll drink to that.
Ooh. Confirmation.
I swallowed a daily pill.
They got me drinking out of this plastic cup.
He said, "I said what I said." I said what I said.
I love this show so much. Okay, go ahead.
I swallowed a daily pill until January 2021. And then I made the switch to buy every other month injectable.
Okay.
So since 2001 through now, I've been undetectable using, a shot on both sides of my hip. And it's no issues. I think one of the things, we always have to remember in this conversation is everyone's journey is not the same.
Yeah.
And that really depends on whether or not you could have been like tested and newly diagnosed or tested and told that you were living with HIV and not necessarily start therapy or start care immediately. And like you come into care once your immune system is really, really broken or really, really weakened, all of those things play into the options that you have to truly be the healthiest over your lifespan.
And so for you, Doc, I want to ask specifically, the journey to undetectable, you said was almost instantly. Like you started meds and you started therapies and then became undetectable. Is that
Absolutely.
Because you are a doctor in the field? I'm going to ask you as a professional, is that a normal situation? Is that then, or is that the outlier?
So I would definitely say, I'm not a medical doctor, and you should have this conversation filtered through your medical physician. Okay.
But black folk just see doctor and they be like, like, you got a cousin that was like, "Oh, you a doctor now? I got this thing on my neck. Can you look at it? You got that cousin, don't you? You got that? I got that cousin."
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do. But I would definitely say, where we sit today is so different from where we came from.
Okay.
Right? So like if you start a 1-a-day therapy today, and oftentimes it's going to be one of the commercials that you see on your television. I won't say no name.
No,
but
none of them are giving me any money. And more importantly, we do not want to endorse one therapy over another without vetting and all the things.
Absolutely. But taking one of those like gold standard medications, folks can become undetectable within 30, 45, 60 days, and again, like we don't see this. What we know to be true is if you are living with HIV, if you are prescribed medication, and if you're taking it how you should be taking it, more times than not, you will be undetectable.
Okay. And so now let's broaden the conversation a little bit, because I want to bring in Willie, Royce, and Titan, because a number of us, I have not disclosed who is the ones living with HIV except you, Doc, because you the doc. But some of us are living with HIV, some are not. Some are single, some are not. You know, only one of us is single. Ooh. I mean, only one of us is not single. I'll let y'all figure out who it is. It's like, where's Waldo? Because, you know, I love a Where's Waldo moment. Somebody got a man on this panel. But even the irony is everybody on the inside of that joke knows why that's funny. Somebody got a man.
What's the question? What we answer?
But let's broaden the topic a little bit. Let's broaden the topic. And so as you have said, you have switched to a bi-monthly injectable. I am on injectables as PrEP. I am not living with HIV, and I get a shot in one cheek every other month. This last month was sore. Like, I could barely walk up some stairs, but I would give anything to not have to take a pill every day again. But now, what does access look like when it comes to HIV in culture? Help us understand what are some of the barriers that normal people are going through in accessing prevention medicines or services.
You want me to go first, or who?
I want you to go first, Doc, because I got a different question for everybody else.
So I think it truly depends on your zip code. You know, so let's say if you are living someplace in the U.S. and it's in the north, more times than likely you will be in a state that have expanded Medicaid. You know, as a result of Medicaid expansion, your options open up, especially not only as people living with HIV, but also as people who may not have HIV, right? So as you begin to travel southern, Medicaid expansion is less of a thing, you know? So that means if you are negative, there may not be a platform to pay for pre-exposure prophylaxis, or even like DoxyPep that, you know, covers STIs or sexual. Can you
are definitely in Harlem.
Yes.
Everybody in this room is like, this motherfucker is absolutely in Harlem. We hear fire trucks, we hear police sirens. The only thing we ain't heard is that random fire detector,
baby,
that every black person got in their house. We hear everything in the background. Okay. But I do hear you saying that access to services, whether it's prevention services or otherwise, is largely dependent on where you live, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, go ahead.
Okay. And so I want to broaden it to everybody else, because we started the conversation. We're going to continue the conversation about dating. So now, given the fact that the status of someone's health is largely dependent on where they live, how does one disclose to you? Willie, I think this is you and I putting on the spot, because you are very clear that you are not living with HIV. So at what point is it important to disclose HIV status to you? Is that like a first date? Is that like before we fuck? Is that like, I really don't care? What is the vibe for you?
I mean, I think I made it clear. You don't have to. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I'm gonna keep doing my part. So if it become a thing and we somewhere, it's not gonna make a difference to me as to what your status is. So if we vibing, I'm not gonna unvibe with you just because you positive or negative. So I mean,
me too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just my answer.
Now the difference between you and I is I actually prefer dating people who are living with HIV.
Why?
Because when someone is living with HIV and they're okay telling me that, they're okay disclosing to me, usually they're okay having a conversation about what meds you're on, how often you take them, when's the last time you got your numbers done, what's your last HIV test, STD test, all those things. When I'm dealing with people who are not living with HIV, now you are very enlightened, but I've dealt with a lot of people who are not living with HIV who just be like, oh, I'm clean, and that's all they give me.
Right.
When, as educated as I am about HIV, there's like 10 more questions that I got if I'm trying to connect with you on a emotional level.
Yeah, and I can understand your point of view of it because I mean, as sensitive as the topic can be or is, if you're just open to like give me that, then I'm pretty sure you'll be open about other things outside of that. Because,
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Because I think I agree with like what we talked about earlier in the conversation. It's a stigma. I think it's a stigma to having HIV or living with HIV that still exists. You know what I mean. It don't exist for me because once again, I was able to educate myself to learn more about the way medicine has evolved in today's society.
Yes.
But it's still a stigma. So if a person is open with that and get that information out, then I feel like they'd be easily open to express other emotions. So
I will also add that now I'm not saying that people living with HIV are this way, but in my experience, I have been able to explain or express my freaky side
to someone
living with HIV with less judgment. Now, whether they receive it or not, whether they into the same things or not, that's a person to person. But in my experience, people who are not living with HIV are a lot more buttoned up about certain things, and they don't want to be seen as dirty, or they don't want to be seen as blah 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 or all the things. And when I unleash my freaky side, I'm like, you gonna leave me outside like this? Like,
I mean, they ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm trying to match what you trying to give. So, I mean,
are you flirting with me?
I'm just telling you what's up. You started the conversation.
There's a dark corner back there.
You started the conversation.
We are definitely in the back room. I'll put all these niggas out of here.
Beat it.
Okay,
you ain't got to worry about me.
So I want to bring in Royce and Titan. And so, in your experience, Royce and Titan, is disclosure getting easier? Is culture evolving to make disclosure easier in a dating situation? Titan, I'll start with you.
Yes, I believe it. I believe it is. I have, for the sake of not sounding, because I already talk about the knockoff and the socks and all of that. But for the sake of it, I have had like you said, Jay, I have had a more of an exploration. Yeah. Of the things that I wouldn't normally do back when I was not positive. So it's a little different for me because the journey, I'm going to go back to a little bit of the previous question. The journey to get into undetectable was a little bit more treacherous for me because I didn't take my medication for about a year, right? I was on this cocktail and I was taking about 5 pills at one time, horse pills, things like that, right? So I understand when a doctor say swallowing. I got it. So anyways,
I could throw it if there weren't so many people in this room. But go ahead.
So I am 19 years positive, but I am 17 years.
Go ahead. 17 years what?
Okay. I am 17 years undetectable. So thank you.
Everybody here is applauding that. Every single person.
Thank you. So I find now that it's much easier because again, I have my status and everything on my social media. However, I do know, like you said, Jay, people are more open to me to talk about all those things that are under the bed, in the backyard, in the dumpster type thing. Right, in the back room. Yeah. So I think it's easier
I'm
now.
open to talk to you in the back room anytime.
Oh.
That bone was about to come down.
It's all right. It's all right now.
Okay. It's time for a break. Coming up, Dr. Driffin is going to be giving us the professional tea on dating and HIV. But for now, we want to hear from you. When would you feel the most comfortable disclosing whether you are living with HIV? Let me know in the comments in a dating situation. This season, we're beefing up our exclusive content on Patreon and just dropped an amazing interview with Devin Barrington Ward about how polyamory works. So check it out. This is Dating and HIV Explained, and we will be right back. I think I lead a pretty normal life. I'm a podcaster and a content creator. I'm pursuing my passions. So many of us, Black gay people, either live with a reality or a fear of HIV. Any movement toward a future where HIV is less of a part of who we are, I don't know that I can think of anything more impactful to our culture. There was a whole in session that happened during the last commercial break. It was a whole plenary session that just happened here. Very exciting. But welcome back to Thirsty Thursday right here on Dear Black Gaming Podcast. We asked you all in the comments to let us know, when do you feel most comfortable disclosing whether you are living with HIV in a dating situation? Do we have any comments? Bill Pynchon, I hope I'm saying that right, said first date. First date like you volunteer the information. First date like you asked for this. Let me know in the comments. I really want to know about that one, Bill. Do we have any others? What you know, Joe says, the moment the individual expresses interest or a first date. Okay. I don't know that I'm like Willie. I don't know that I care by the first date. Like, I care when I'm thinking about if I can take care of you, if I can activate for you, if I can be there in the gap for you. So to me, it's like a third, fourth date conversation. Do we have any others? Kevin Kev says, Jay is such a flirt. Am. Is. Did. And I'll do it again.
And do. Okay.
Again, there go Titan as the voice of God in the background. Bill says he volunteers that information. Thank you so much for sharing that in the comments. I appreciate every comment that comes on. We discussed... Did I say this already? No. We discussed emotions around disclosure and chatted through a few hot topics with our guests. Now we want to debunk popular myths and dating about dating and HIV. Ooh. See there? About dating HIV. To fact check us, we have Dr. Daniel Driffin, who works at the HIV Vaccine Trials Network. Daniel, this is what you get for not being in the back room. This is what you get for not being in the back room. You wanted to take your ass to Harlem, and this is what you missed. Daniel is barely surviving up there in that hotel room. Okay, so we have some statements that came from the DMs, and we want you to tell us if the statements are fact or fiction. This is a kind of a remix on Sassy or Trashy, but this is fact or fiction. So, Daniel, before we get there, tell us what do you do in short form? Remember, I got a button here. So what do you do at the HIV Vaccine Trials Network?
Hey everyone. So at the HIV Vaccine Trials Network, I am a project manager within the External Relations Division. So really, we are allowed to interface with community to just spread the word on the work that we do as we develop a preventative vaccine. You see, I'm really trying not to use any big words, okay?
Because I got a button, like my finger is on the trigger.
It's so hard. Both reasons. Ooh. But anyway, we developed.
Since you got your degree,
and you know every fucking thing.
Swallow it till it's hard.
I told you, I got my finger on the trigger, and you can jazz it up by being one of the girls, but I know you for your very DRPH work.
So we are the largest as we develop a vaccine to prevent HIV for all populations.
Okay. I think that so shout out to you, because I have recently switched to injectable PrEP, and the idea that I'm able to prevent HIV and not take a pill every day was life-changing for me. Absolutely life-changing. So the idea that the HIV Vaccine Trials Network is attempting to take that one step further and make it to where it's not a injectable every couple months. It could be an injectable once ever.
Every 6 months.
Every 6 months or every year. Like the closer we can get to that. Now, I will tell you that a little bit about my story. So I got on PrEP, daily med PrEP, with a lot of people who were living with HIV. and a lot of my friends are living with HIV, and so we kept each other accountable about taking our meds. And so all of my friends that are in my accountability circle switched to injectable HIV meds. And so I ended up missing all kind of doses of my PrEP because now I ain't got nobody asking me about taking pills every day because they ain't taking pills every day. And so the idea, and what that enlightened for me is the idea that all of us are connected by a common experience, whether that is taking pills or not, and you have a choice to do that yourself. I think that is probably the most remarkable aspect of the HIV Vaccine Trials Network is that you really are trying to level the playing field for all people affected by HIV, whether you're living with it or not.
And yes, absolutely. I think even larger, like that's the testament to the HIV movement, truly to be able to say, we know folks living with HIV who took medication 3, 4, 5 times a day to going to 1 pill a day to now going to 2 shots every other month. And hopefully, maybe a shot every 6 months or even a shot every year or a pill, once a year. It just speaks volumes to the advancements that we've achieved in this field.
I'm really excited about that. Okay, so we got a couple statements, and they're going to keep me on time. So we got a couple statements that have come through in the DMs. These are all messages from people who follow Dear Black Gay Men, and we want you to tell us if they are fact or fiction. Okay? This says, I am in a monogamous relationship. I don't have to worry about HIV. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Why do you say fiction?
So regardless of your relationship status, your HIV status is a intimate conversation.
Mhm.
So whether or not you are testing frequently, if you are on PrEP, it should really be an individual conversation. You should not let your partner dictate your perception or comfortability with your status.
Okay, I'm here for that.
They want to
I didn't want to push the button. I really was gonna push the button, but I'm literally asking you to be educated here, so I'm like, let me. Okay, the next one says, is it safe to have condomless sex when you are undetectable? Fact or fiction?
So this was one of them sassy ones. I said sassy, because again, like beyond.
That's true.
I had the wrong one up. I meant to say sassy the whole time. Willie says sassy. We all say sassy.
Oh,
but
I still
go
say
ahead.
sassy.
So beyond a shadow of a doubt, we know that once a person becomes undetectable and maintain their undetectable status, they will not transmit HIV sexually. Okay. So again, get on meds, take meds, achieve undetectable, and have the best sex you can have.
Best.
Get your socks knocked off.
Get your socks knocked off like Titan had. Okay, now this one, they wanted me to hurry up through these so I could ask you this particular question because I got my button ready. I know you got your response in the trigger in the barrel. It says HIV drugs are poison and will destroy your body. Fact or fiction?
I'm gonna say fiction, friend.
I know. But go ahead.
Again, when we look at antiretroviral therapy or the specific class that HIV sits in, beyond a shadow of a doubt, art works. Okay? When we look at
tell the people what heart and art mean before I hit the button.
HAART is highly active antiretroviral therapy. So HAART.
Got it.
Okay. ART is antiretroviral therapy, ART, or you can see it as ARV, antiretrovirals. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But again, when we look at that class of medication, they do what they're supposed to do 9 times out of 10. Okay. Again, if you take it as prescribed, one should be undetectable. Okay. And even if, one of the things that we've really been looking at recently, even if you're not undetectable, we do not see the virus being transmitted under 1,000 copies. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Undetectable would mean under how many copies? What is undetectable?
Great question. So the United States Department of Health and Human Services, U.S.
You thought I was going to hit the other button, didn't you? Go ahead. The United States Department of Health and Human Services, go ahead.
So we define viral suppression or undetectable under 200 copies of HIV per milliliter of blood. Okay. So this may differ from the doctor office that you are being seen, that you receive treatment at. Okay. Sometimes doctor office can go as low as 20 copies per milliliter of blood. Okay. But basically, again, if you are under 200 copies of HIV in a milliliter of blood, like zero worries. Okay. That's the U equals U messages. That's the undetectable, untransmittable.
Okay. So the last question is that came in from the chat. It says dating DL men puts you at higher risk of infection.
So, I was actually looking through my pictures the other night.
I'll expand DL, trade, all that.
Come on, pictures.
I love this show. This show is amazing. This show is unbelievable.
I'm just gonna go in the bushes and weep.
Dating DL men will put you at higher risk of infection.
So I don't think we have any scientific.
Well, since you got your degree, and you know every fucking thing.
I think that's doctor's answer. Since you got your degree, the second I say I don't know, you were about to say data. You were about to say data on that one. Okay.
Data informs many of my conversations. So
Yes.
I don't know if we have any data on DL men opens you up to infections. However, I would definitely say, one could worry about more things. Not even not even about my blouse. Not even
Come on, blouse. Get that top button.
I love it. And I love the voice of Titan chiming in like Jesus. Hitting the high notes.
Not like acquiring sexually transmitted infections or anything. But I think, we have to look at like anxiety, mental health capacities.
Yes.
I just think of like the Jasmine Sullivan song, Hurt Me So Good. Like, hate that I need you. Like, it's just a lot. So
I thought
think
you was going to type put your hood feelings.
Can I say one other thing, friend?
Yes.
We were talking about the DoxyPep earlier. And someone in the chat, Miss Eve, said, my doctor warned me of Doxy. They not to be taken daily. It will lead to resistance. So I want to say this. So, DoxyPep, post-exposure prophylaxis is a strategy to reduce your likelihood of acquiring sexually transmitted infections, specifically gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis. Okay. Many of the studies that we look at truly talks about DoxyPep from the standpoint of cisgender born men. Okay. And not necessarily at birth females. Okay.
I just want to let you know I'm hovering over my button, friend.
I know.
You tension into 5-syllable language lane.
I'm reading it, right? But I would just say again, like DoxyPep is an additional option to reduce, your STI acquisition rate. Okay. Again, all of these conversations should be had with your primary care physician, but these are options out there again to reduce the likelihood of acquisition. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. I agree. I didn't hit the button on that one. I'm very, very proud of you, Dr. Daniel Driffin. Y'all give Dr. Daniel Driffin a round of applause. All right, we will be right back. What is stigma? I truly believe that it comes up when you think something can't happen to you. Like when we think we could never be femme, so we end up with femphobia laced all up and through our dating profiles. Or when we don't be out there like that, so we slut shame people for doing openly what we try to sneak and do privately. But there aren't too many spaces where stigma rises to a criminal level like it does with HIV.
Knowingly gave her HIV and never told her he was infected.
We're talking to 4 black men from across the country, all living with HIV. I want to see how stigma comes up in their lives and what we can all do to overcome it. All right, teammates, I would like to thank my guests, Titan Capri, Royce, our creative director, Dr. Daniel Driffin, and Willie, for joining us here at Dear Black Gay Men. If you would like to connect with any of them, links to their socials are in the description. The whole conversation that we had today boils down to, what do you do when a guy you're dating discloses their HIV status? And unequivocally so, I want to say, nothing. Nothing has changed. He's the same dude he was a minute ago. His health hasn't changed. If you hadn't had sex with him, your health hasn't changed, and definitely not because of him. It's still just you and him trying to find your way out of the dating pool. If anything is different, it's emotional. That man probably was scared. Then he was nervous. Then he was tense. And then a whole bunch of other feelings, getting ready to tell you a piece of information about him that he held so dear, so close. So if the best you got is ghosting him for being upfront rather than appreciating him for being honest, I'm way more nervous having you in the dating pool with all of us than I ever would be having him in my bed alone. I was going to put a name there, but let me not. So dear Black Gay Men, Black Lives Matter, HIV or otherwise. That was our show. I am Jay the Gentleman. That's at JAI the Gentleman. This said, I got a comment from I'm Not Mixed on YouTube. He says, it was too much emphasis on sexual compatibility component and not enough on the things that really make a connection strong. I think sex actually makes a connection strong. I really do think that sex can be a foundational component of a relationship. Thank you so much, I'm Not Mixed, for your comment. This other comment said from Instagram, said from The Incredible Q13. He says, I cannot breathe. And also, how did you make church sayings low-key sound sexy? I'm very good at that. I speak churchy fluently. I am not churchy though. So if, for instance, you want to go behind the veil and slide into my secret closet, I'm ready. All right, that was our show. I am Jay the Gentleman. That's at JAI the Gentleman on IG. If you want to support Dear Black Gay Men podcast, the easiest way is to pick up some DBGM merch, a hat or hoodie, and you can shop at dearblackgaymen.shop. I am Jay the Gentleman. This has been Dear Black Gay Men podcast, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.